Where would you say has been your favorite place to paint?
I mean, I'm from LA. I grew up here learning how to paint. This is definitely my favorite town. I know it like the back of my hand. I feel comfortable in every part of town. That being said, that's kind of a gimme. So Mexico City is probably my second favorite place to paint. It's so active, it's so alive, it's so big, and it's such like a pressure cooker. That painting out there is just, it's what I imagine it might have been like in New York back in the day. It's kind of Wild Westish still, you know. I love the energy out there. I love everything. I'm in love with Mexico City. So
You've traveled the globe
I'm biased.
for graffiti. Where would you say is the capital of graffiti?
So, as I was mentioning earlier, I felt for a while when there was really dynamic dudes here in LA that were bombing, I think we could have been it. We could have had like the most beautiful illegal graffiti in the world. And that I think made it here for a window. I don't know where it is now. I don't know. I think, yeah, I don't know. You know, for a little while, I feel it could have been Mexico City too. I know I keep jockeying Mexico City, but I for a little while I was going out there, you know, and I feel like it was Detroit for a little while, then LA, and then I feel like last few times I went to Mexico City, I saw graffiti writers from almost every single part of the world. European writers, American writers, South American writers up in town. And I feel like places just become trendy, like, all right, let's all travel here and paint. Could have been Mexico City now.
What is graffiti to you, and how would you define it?
I mean, graffiti, the most basic definition is marking on walls without permission. So that's it. That's that simple. Like whether you're just a kid or a very advanced skilled graffiti writer, that's basically you're all engaging in the activity of marking a surface without permission. That being said, what it does for me, I mean, it's guided my life in a way. I never thought it would be that way, but it gave me a foot in the art world. It gave me an identity in an urban culture and a street culture that was very dangerous and very unstable. It gave me a brotherhood. It gave me friends that are like lifelong friends now. It's helped given me a work ethic, you know. I remember when I was in art school, I felt like I had a chip on my shoulder because, you know, and I'd even talk to some of my teachers sometime. I'm like, none of these fuckers in here has ever fought for their art. None of these people has gotten a fight with cops or had to steal paint to create their art. None of these people got yelled at by their parents for the art they make. You know, I had to go through so much shit fighting people on the street, fighting people that were older than me just to express myself, just to do this fucking art. So like when I saw these kids in class that, you know, their parents bought them all the art supplies and they were just like, they barely cared to be there. I'm like, man, you guys you don't have the edge to make it, you know? And so that drive where you have everything against you, but you still manage to find a way to succeed, that graffiti gives you, and that like find a way to do it no matter what. I've taken that attitude toward other things in my life, and it's definitely given me an edge that I feel a lot of people don't have because they haven't had to fight as hard for anything that they have.
What would you say are some of the fundamentals of graffiti younger writers should learn?
So I think learning your history, both your local history and now because of the internet, a whole dynamic of who's been important, what they did, and why they did it, I think is important. I know a lot of younger people don't put that much weight on it, but I think it's important to know who your elders were and who paved the way, who the pioneers were, just so you're not doing derivative stuff. That being said, I mean, fundamentals, man. I see a lot of people that try to skip the tagging part, skip the straight letters, and go right to the wild style. But even though they have all the tips, or rather all the tricks and all the fancy highlights and everything, you see that the backbone of a lot of it's missing because they try to skip steps. There's flaws in their work. It's not balanced. The letters are wonky. And obviously there's people now doing like anti-graffiti and breaking all the rules on purpose, but there's still like an overall aesthetic that I think graffiti has created. And if you're working within that wild style graffiti, you need to have fundamentals. You need to have strong straight letters, strong tags, strong throw-ups, if you want your pieces to look right. You know, I see people that just skip ahead. And not only that, if you didn't work your way up to the pieces, the guys that did work their way up, they're not going to respect you. They're not going to view you as a peer. They're not going to view you as an equal. Oh, you're just a legal beagle. Oh, you're just an artist. Oh, you buy your cans and you go to legal spots to do your aerosol murals, but you're not a graffiti writer because you're not doing all the illegal steps, unfortunately or fortunately, that actually give you the respect from the community. You know, if you have to work your way up, and people that try to skip steps, you're not going to get the respect. Your elders are always going to look down their nose at you. They're always going to know, oh, this guy was never a tagger. This guy never put in work. This guy's just, you know, he went to art school and he knows how to use a spray can. But is he one of us? No.